When I'm not busy dressing up as a clown and scaring people in the park at night. Oh wait, no, I would never do that because that's one of the creepiest things you could ever do as a human being. I like to answer questions I get on YouTube, so let's get to it. Do you have a favorite riff? Easiest question I've had all day. So if you didn't recognize that, that is the outro riff from Knights of Sidonia by Muse, which is made that much more powerful by like at least I think like a 5-minute build-up of just amazing orchestration. I'm a huge Muse fan, and without a doubt, Knights of Sidonia outro riff is my #1 favorite riff of all time. Do you ever consider getting a Twitter or Facebook fan page for talking to fans, pushing vids, publicity, and other social media stuff? Yes, the new season of South Park has convinced me to get on my social media game, so I'm going to leave a link to my Twitter page and my Instagram page if you want to follow me. That would be great. Hit me up, and I'm thinking about doing some cool things with those too, and if you guys have any suggestions on stuff you'd like to see, let me know. Have you listened to Where the Light Is, John Mayer's live album? I know he was good, but this album is eye-opening. What do you think? Is he overhyped? I don't think John Mayer is overhyped at all. I mean, I've talked a little bit about him on the channel before, but I think he's one of the great guitar players of his generation. The Where the Light Is album is definitely a must-see thing for anybody who likes guitar, along with the trio stuff, which I've mentioned earlier. But I didn't even realize it, but I guess John Mayer right now is touring with the Grateful Dead as Jerry Garcia, and I heard he's just like absolutely killing it. Another thing I was super late to the table on was that he's not even with Fender anymore. I guess he's like with PRS, and he has like this like incredibly expensive semi-hollow body guitar that seems pretty amazing, but also kind of pricey. So yeah, definitely, I don't think John Mayer is overhyped at all. I think he's definitely another guy who's matured as an artist, and even though his recent stuff isn't in my favorite genre, I still think it's really good for what it is, and everybody should check it out. Could you do some lessons on recording and mixing? Yeah, actually, this is something I've been thinking about for a while. I've kind of got my own pretty decent recording studio that I do some projects out of every now and then, and recording and mixing especially is something that did not come naturally to me at all, and I was terrible at it. I still don't feel like I'm like the greatest in the world, but I've made myself like average, at least just by doing it so many times. And there's some other channels out there that are really helpful, that were helpful to me, that you should check out, like Ryan Bruce has a really cool channel. Glenn Fricker at Spectre Sound Studios has an awesome channel. I think Warren Hewitt probably has the best one, Produced Like a Pro. If you've never seen that, you should definitely check that out. But yeah, I think I'll probably start doing some more recording videos just to kind of share my own experience and what I've learned, because there's a lot of bad videos out there too, which I've come to realize over time. So I think I might throw my hat into the home recording foray. Definitely tell me what you guys would like and what you think about stuff like that. But definitely probably some videos like that coming soon. Hey Sean, love your videos. Question: I'm a singer, I write songs, and I'm going to the studio to record soon. I will use studio musicians for the recording. Any recommendations about preparing for the studio, what to bring, etc.? I'm going to bring rough guide versions of the songs recorded with voice and guitar. Not sure if I'll be able to sing and play in time. Is that a problem? Or will a rough guide do? I obviously want to keep the cost down. I would love to hear what you recommend. Now, this is a fantastic question about maybe if you're a singer-songwriter or just a songwriter in general that is planning on bringing something into the studio and possibly using studio musicians, because most studios bill by the hour, and I definitely would recommend the experience because you learn so much just by being in the studio and being around people who actually kind of know what they're doing. The one main advice that I could give is to have the structure of your songs laid out. And what I mean by structure, like know how many like verses, how many choruses, like how many go along, because you're probably going to be recording at different tracks. Like if you're a singer-songwriter, you'll probably be recording the guitar track once to a click and then singing on top of it. And I think it might be more challenging than you think to record the guitar part of a song without having your vocals there to help guide you. So really having the organization of that down just shows a lot of professionalism on your part, and it's going to save you time and money in the long run. Another really important thing is to have the tempo of your songs decided on before you go in there. And when I say tempo, just like the beats per minute that it's at, which you can just figure out using a metronome or an app or something like that, or a DAW if you do home recording. I've been in like a lot of sessions where maybe the artist wasn't sure what tempo, or it wasn't even a consideration that they thought of beforehand, and then they get into the studio and they agree on one tempo, they start working for a couple hours, and then they realize that it's a little slow or it's a little too fast, and then you have to start over. So really knowing your tempos and your BPMs beforehand is an absolute must if you're going into the studio. Also, too, just being able to play to a click track is something that takes practice. Like if you've never done it before, it's actually hard to do, whether it's a metronome or playing to a loop or something like that. I'm probably going to do some videos on like playing with the looper pedal and stuff like that soon too. But really being able to play on time is the number one important skill for any musician, regardless of if you're doing studio stuff or anything. So be able to play to a click, play on time, know the organization of your songs as far as like the length and stuff like that, and definitely know the BPM, just so you can have a little bit of expectation going in, especially if you're working with other musicians. What do you think of Neil Schon? So if you don't know Neil, which honestly I don't think he's really a household name in most circles, but he's the guitar player for the band Journey. Everybody knows Journey, but not a lot of people are familiar with Neil. And I kind of was also guilty of this until I got free tickets to go see like a Journey REO Speedwagon Styx concert, which again, this stuff isn't really my era, but I just kind of went to tag along or whatever. And I was kind of honestly a little bit bored for the first two, and then Journey came out. And what was incredibly instantly apparent was that this guy is an absolute killer on the guitar, and in the grand scheme of rock history, criminally underrated, because a lot of people don't even know his name when he's just like an absolute beast. Like he can shred. He was actually like shredding, tearing it up. I think he writes some of the catchiest riffs. I think there's kind of, even though it's not like I'm a huge Journey fan, I definitely respect a lot of the musicianship that went into it. And I think especially in like a pop atmosphere, being able to write cool guitar stuff is really like a quality that not a lot of those guys have. And I think Neil's definitely one of the beasts out there. So next time you listen to a Journey song, because it's always on, just maybe take a second and keep your ear out for the guitar and see what he's doing, because he's doing some really cool stuff. So speaking of underrated guitar players, I want to do for listening homework this week my main girl, Annie Clark of St. Vincent. She is absolutely awesome. She was actually the inspiration for me to get my Ernie Ball Music Man Albert Lee guitar. Now she kind of has a similar thing, but with a different body cut in her signature with Ernie Ball. But I'm going to link you to a live thing from St. Vincent, which is basically just her. And I think she's just a killer singer-songwriter. I kind of prefer her earlier albums because they're more guitar-centric. But definitely listen to Annie Clark, because she's just a great composer of guitar, and I think you might dig it. So as always, if you have any questions or comments, hit me up in the comments, or you can tweet me, and we'll see how that goes. All right, until next time, thanks.